talk about Caleb and what he's mean to this team, the Iowa game. I mean, all season, just talk about the guy.
Yeah, well, I thought, he was around the basketball, obviously having 10 rebounds. He was one short of 10 other night at Iowa. He had a tough time in the first half handling the basketball. He had those 3 turnovers, but going 4 for 4 from the field and getting us 10 rebounds and just being around the basketball, like that's what we need on offense and defense for him. Crashing the glass. Like when Trey's there, Trey gets a lot of attention. So like now, just trying to slip your way to the rim, like find those opportunities where you can help us. But no, he's given us a lot of energy. He's played really well, and it's just an unbelievable accomplishment. We got 7 games remaining, and he becomes the all-time, winningest player in school history. It's a hell of an accomplishment.
Hey, man, start of the game, at one point you guys were 17 out of 22 at the field with 3:51 left, but you only led by 12 points. What was your thought process on that? And then secondly, did you plan this game differently because Claude wasn't playing tonight?
No, we prepared for Claude. I think anytime that situation presents itself, you always prepare for people to play. Obviously, I don't think it looked that way with the way Yates played. He was fabulous, had a great first half. But no, we got off to a good start, shot the ball well, and I thought we took really good shots. I thought we were very efficient. We just missed some wide open threes. Like it was just one of those games where you're getting good looks. I think you saw some frustration kind of mount with our guys. It mounts with Braden because he wants to get more assists. But they zoned, which they don't normally do. They'll do some run and jump stuff that they did to get the ball out of his hands, and other guys got to make plays. And I thought we were very efficient, especially when we got the ball to Trey right there at the free throw line to where he could operate and make plays.
Is that something you intended to do, having that like you were shooting the lights out and they were still 12 points down? Is that something you really wanted to try?
What we were doing was if they were going to double the ball, we wanted to get it centered, whether we do it directly or we do it off of one more pass. So like sometimes when they run at the ball, they can take away the middle, but when they do that, you're going to have a wing that's going to be open. Or they take away wings and they keep people at home by the rim. Now the center of the floor is going to be open. And when you get into those situations, like you're gonna get into a 3-on-2, obviously a 4-on-3. Everybody is spread. So anytime you center the basketball after you put 2 basketballs on it, the defense is normally pretty vulnerable. You got to have the right person getting it. And when he's getting it right there, now we got Caleb right at the rim and we got 2 shooters away. Now he's just got to make the right read, whether to attack and score or make that pass.
Matt, last year Trey was pretty good, but Zach kind of overshadowed him a bit. I know he doesn't follow individual accolades, but in your mind, why do you think that maybe he doesn't get put on these lists and maybe get the
right
what he deserves? I mean, is it that he goes to work and kind of is this a quiet guy or what is it?
Yeah, no, it's like anything. Like if you're an English professor, you should be good at English, right? And so if you're selecting these teams like with the best power forward, the best center, like last year, Braden didn't make the top 10 point guards in the country, but then yet he made the top 5. So like there's an opportunity there when they make mistakes like they've made here. I don't know whether they're putting him on the Karl Malone or the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar award, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because they proved last year when they made that mistake with Braden, they can put him on that top 5. So I just expect that you would think after they talked about the Karl Malone that happened 2 days ago, that now they would like reconvene and like kind of go through it. But there was 2 different point guard camps last year for the national, where they invited 15 to 16 point guards in the country coming into college and been in college, and I couldn't get Braden Smith in either one of those. And I'm saying, hey man, I'm not saying he's a top 15 point guard in the country. I'm saying he's the best point guard in the country. I go like, you're leaving the best point guard out of the country. It's like having the NBA All-Star game and saying, hey, you know what? The 2 top guys that are going to be MVPs, you're not an all-star. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. But you have non-basketball people making basketball decisions, and they look at it differently. Then they stereotypically look at somebody who's 5'11", like he's not a player, and he's real. Like he's one of the best passers ever. He can end up being the best passer ever. In terms of what he does and how he has accumulated assists throughout his career. But yeah, the same kind of holds true for Trey. What's he supposed to do, right? He's the 5th or 6th most efficient player in college basketball right now. Like, you can't make up the numbers that he has. But the thing that I don't grab is, like, whether it's Braden or whether it's him, like, how they can't acknowledge it when you win big. Like, if you have big-time numbers and your team stinks, like, I got it. Or your team wins all the time and your numbers are very, modest. They both have big-time numbers. And obviously Braden's not in that sphere anymore, right? But he is. And so, like, I just don't understand when you win at a very, very high level and you have those numbers and you're productive and you're the 4th, 5th, 6th most efficient player in the country, whatever the damn stat is. But, to each their own. To each their own. That's on them, really. It's on them because they're showing that they don't understand the game and what matters.
Matt, you guys have had some big wins this season, obviously. You had a lot of guys scoring tonight, excuse me. But then you get Caleb with 10 rebounds. Sha'Carri has 3 assists. Miles a couple steals. Do you feel like that this is maybe one of the more complete team wins in terms of total contributions?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of different people got to be able to play. I thought, like I said earlier, I thought as a team, we rebounded pretty well, even though we had that one stretch where we struggled. I never would have thought that we'd out-rebound them by 17 after the way you feel during the game, giving up some of those offensive rebounds. But I thought we had good balance. They took Braden out a little bit. He missed a couple threes that he normally makes, but they took him out a little bit and trying to get the ball out of his hands. And you just got to keep making the right play. I think he had a little frustration there. He had some frustration that, guys were missing shots, but, like, no one's tried to miss a shot, right? But we got to keep making the right decision. And I thought for the most part we did.
Baseline inbound offense has been pretty good this season. What do you like about it, and why has it been so effective?
Well, Sasha Stefanovic does our out-of-bounds plays and side out-of-bounds plays, and it allows him to kind of just focus in terms of running it. So he really just breaks down how someone defends it and then takes from what we do and either tweaks it or just runs what we do. And then he'll add some stuff from time to time when people are different and how they defend it. Some people switch things out, some people don't. Some people zone off, some people don't. So, like, you gotta, are they angling with the inbounder? Are they on top of the inbounder? Are they turning around and face guarding the other 4 offensive players? Like, a lot of when you run something is how are you affecting and disrupting the basketball, or are you at all? Like, we take the cutters, right? They tried to back cut us a couple times, but we take the cutters because we just seem like we led the country in giving up 3-pointers on that outer third. And so, like, a couple years ago, we just kind of adjusted to certain teams to do that. Now we do it for most teams that we play. And it's not foolproof. We've given up a layup here and there. We've given up some guys cutting for layups, but we don't give up those threes anymore on that outer third. So that's why we did it there. But no, Sasha's done a great job of getting everybody on the same page. We had a couple mess ups today where guys didn't run it the way they're supposed to. So we always talk about it. It's you're not allowed to mess up a play when it's for you, right? They call your number, like, you don't get your number called very much, and you go back to your apartment and complain about it, and then we run a play for you, you don't run it right. So doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Matt, you guys don't turn them over a ton today, but you still outscore them by 11 in the fast break. Just what's been the key to transition offense the last month or so?
Well, obviously, if they take bad shots or turn it over, it's going to put you in a better position. You're going to have numbers, you're going to have angles, more than that. But we're really trying to, push the ball, after just, regular misses and run the court. Not really worried about the 2 other guards. Like, don't outlet it to anybody besides Braden. And let's try to get up the court and be able to attack them right away before they're set, or get some quick ball movement there. But if you can't rebound or you can't force turnovers, you can't get on the break. But I thought our guys have done a good job. I think you would see more fast break points if we had a better shooting night.
Just the shooting, obviously with Iowa being the exception, it's been a few bad games in a row in that department. Just you talk a lot about continuing to shoot and kind of
right.
Just pumping those guys' confidence up. Is that mostly what you're doing? Do you adjust anything?
Yeah, I think to win big and to win when it matters, you got to build confidence when some things don't quite go your way. And so, like, I'm not encouraging people who miss shots that can't make them. So in my opinion, they can make them. And so, like, when they do miss them, I think being positive and encouraging really helps them. Nobody goes through a season or maybe even a month without having a little bit of a slump. Even the greatest player in the world has self-doubt, and so like just getting them to understand about being process-based, take good shots. Now they take a bad one. The problem in coaching is when they take a bad one and make it, because they think it's okay. But 15% is still you're going to still make, right? You're going to kick one in every now and then. So like getting them to understand like the numbers, like just don't look at somebody's field goal percentage. Like break their field goal percentage down and say, when you go left, you shoot this. When you go right, you shoot this. When you shoot a pull-up, you shoot this. When you shoot a three that's contested versus a three that's not contested, what do you do in low clock? Like there's so many variables in there that go in there. So people say like, well, I shoot 46%, I'm all right. When there's about 20 to 30 shots they just absolutely shouldn't take in the course of a season. And now you're like, well, you got to allow a little bit of that. You got to allow a little bit of that with special players. You don't have to allow a little bit with all players. So getting them to understand that. Because a lot of times people, when they're upset or they're frustrated, they're upset about personal things. And so you got to get them to understand, hey, you got to take the best shot for you, but you also got to take the best shot for us.
Matt, you've got your next 3 games are against teams that are sort of clustered with you up at the top of the standings, and then 2 of those on the road, then a road game against a rivalry opponent right after that. So
Right.
what do you still want to hope that this team shows you over these next 4 games in this position that you're in to be out in front of this, but now accepting those challenges?
Right. Yeah, you're just, you're kind of looking at, I told our guys, hey, we have 7 games. We got to have great energy in every game. But the focus of our season is winning the next game and playing well. Like we can play better than we did tonight. We definitely can defend better than we did tonight, in my opinion. But what you have to understand is each style will bring out issues for your team. Like it's not like, well, your defense is really good. Well, our defense might have been really good against certain styles. Now you're getting against different people, and now you play them at home and you feel good about it. Then you go on the road and it's like you're playing a different team, right? You see that in the contrast between road and home. So that's what we want to grow. We got to fix some things here while we're winning a couple games. There's some shortcomings there that we have to clean up and be better. Got to be around the ball more. Got to be better defensively. Got to contain it better. Got to be in gaps better. Got to have a better low man awareness. And so if you have a team that's mature, they understand that. And so hopefully we get that response and understand we have to be better if we're going to go win our next game on the road. Cool. Thank you.